protection.
The most important thing about this tank is survivability, making sure the 4 soldiers inside this tank come home safe. Now, unfortunately for us, but for good reason, the details about this tank's armor are classified. But one thing's for sure, armor has come a long way since tanks were first used back in World War I.
The earliest tanks were lightly armored with just a half-inch of steel boilerplate. But as the threats grew bigger, armor got thicker and heavier and began to slow tanks down. So in the 1930s, the Russians invented sloping armor. The slope increases the thickness of armor a shell has to penetrate along its line of travel. It also means that some projectiles can just bounce off. Today's M1 tanks still use sloping armor. They also use a top-secret recipe of steel and ceramic plates to provide the equivalent of 2 feet of metal. But in modern urban warfare, where cities and towns are the new battlegrounds, and homemade explosives and RPGs are the new threats, armor technology has to keep up. The very latest now fights fire with fire. Dr. Van Romero has led the way in developing a new breed of explosive armor that reacts to enemy fire. But first, let's see what damage enemy weapons can do to 6 inches of armored steel. The same stuff that tanks are made of.
What this round has is a cutting charge in it. It's a copper jet that will shoot, and it explosively launches through these metal plates.
What kind of damage does it do once it comes through there?
It's a fireball. So essentially you're turning a fireball loose inside the turret of the tank. Well, as you well know, there's not a whole lot of room in there. Anybody or anything in there is probably going to get burned up.
So we're now officially locked into the bunker?
We're down in the bunker, so we're in a safe spot.
Do we need to stock up on water and crackers and flashlight batteries just in case it all goes wrong?
No, I think we'll be okay for now, but we'll see a little bit later today.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, okay, so that was a pretty big explosion.
Yeah.
Table semi-destroyed, blocks, no other found.
At normal speed, it's impossible to tell what has happened. But the high-speed camera reveals the truth.
Here's the detonation of the warhead.
Right.
It fires. Now the shape charge shoots right through it. See that molten steel?
Yeah.
That's what you'd encounter if you were inside the tank.
Wow.
Okay, so not real good. Once it gets in that turret, it's lighting it up. It's a fireball.
Yeah. All right. So
as you can see, it came right through.
Wow. There you go. Right to the other side.
Right.
If this had been a real tank, its crew would surely be dead. So the M1 tank can be fitted with something that prevents this. And Dr. Romero wants to show me how it works.
We're going to make a sandwich.
Okay.
Brad's putting that in there.
Thin layers of explosive, called data sheet, are laid against the tank's armor. Then, another thinner sheet of steel, called a flyer plate, is added on the outside.
So now what happens is the round hits this flyer plate first.
Okay.
And starts a lot of pressure and a lot of heat to go into the data sheet.
Okay.
When the pressure and heat hits the data sheet, it'll detonate. And what that does is it shoots the flyer plate out. It flies into the round.
The beauty of this reactive armor is its simplicity. Easily attached to vulnerable parts of the tank, the reactive armor protects without adding much weight.
And so you're essentially just fighting fire with fire.
That's right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Wow. And there's no more table.
Again, running at normal speed, it's impossible to tell what happened. But on the high-speed camera, this time the result is very different.
Now we have a lot more fireball outside.
Right, going this direction.
Going this direction.
Okay.
You see any jet coming out?
I do not. I see nothing going that direction.
Right, there's no jet. Now if you were inside that tank, you'd get rocked around a little bit.
Sure.
But no fireball inside the tank.
Remember, this was the same type of charge set against identical steel blocks. The only difference, the one below has the reactive armor. It looks like it did the job, but only the blocks can tell us for sure. If we can find them.
Pretty violent reaction. Looks like they just found one on the side of the hill, and there he is out there.
All the way up there?
All the way up there, yeah.
You kidding me?
So here it is.
Wow.
We're about 150 yards out.
It's still a little hot.
It's still a little hot. The jet should have gone all the way through that, right?
Yeah.
You'll see that it didn't come out the backside.
So it didn't even go 3 inches. Before, it went right through 6 inches.
It didn't even make it through 3 inches.
It's an incredible technology that saves lives, and it's very simple.
There's no electronics, there's no trigger,